for the warm welcome and the hospitality accorded to our delegates and everybody else who has come to attend this symposium. Asanteni sana. I want to thank TPSF, who have been our partners from the beginning to organize this event. I want to thank my colleague, Ambassador Mlima, for the journey we have walked to try and really put this together. So asante sana Balozi Mlima. I just want to tell you, this is a very exciting day. Considering the time, we should be at the topic of where are we now. We have very good experts in the room. Hundreds of you have traveled to hear where we are. This is a well-heeled crowd. They don't want to hear with us talking to ourselves. We have excellent topics. I want to thank our sponsors. I want to thank our moderators and panelists. We have very good panelists. You know, you have exciting topics this morning. Operational minefields, the legal and regulatory framework, taxation. There are people here, the Commissioner Generals of Taxation, there are people from the oil and gas sector. But I also know that most of the audience, they know these things, they just want to know where we are. So I will stop there and wish you happy deliberations. This event is being live streamed. Unfortunately, for some of us, we shall fall on 9 because we have to receive our heads of state. But the ministers are here, the captains of industries are here. Have a nice forum. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Your Excellency, you're leaving that to me. All right, very well. Honorable Ruth Nankabirwa. Ladies and gentlemen, makofi mengi sana tafadhali. You can see how male-dominated that front desk is. Kwa karibu mheshimiwa.
Hey, I thought it was. Sorry. I'm not going to complain. Thank you very much. Guest of honor, my brother, the Minister of Energy in the United Republic of Tanzania, Honorable January Makamba, my brothers and sisters ministers from Tanzania and Uganda, Your Excellencies, the ambassadors and high commissioners, permanent secretaries, chief executives of oil companies, Your Excellencies, and heads of government agencies, high commissioners, permanent secretaries, chairpersons of the Private Sector Foundation of Uganda, executives of oil Uganda Chamber of Mines, and heads of government agencies, and the Association of Tanzania Oil and Gas Service Providers, Chief Executive of Uganda, distinguished members from private sector, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you all. I want to add my voice to that of Ambassador Richard in thanking the government of Tanzania for the warm welcome accorded to us, me and my team from Uganda. Thank you so much. Asante sana. I wish to thank our two high commissioners, the one of Tanzania to Uganda and Uganda to Tanzania, together with Private Sector Foundation, Uganda Chamber of Mines and Petroleum, and the Association of Tanzania Oil and Gas Service Providers for organizing this symposium that has brought together all of you people interested in oil and gas from private sectors of Uganda and Tanzania and supported by governments of both states. Thank you so much for this gathering. This symposium is aimed at enhancing private sector participation through networking and creation of partnerships that can maximize the participation of both Uganda and Tanzania enterprises in the oil and gas sector, and more particularly on the East African crude oil pipeline. I am certain that in the next 2 days, this symposium will attain this objective. The oil and gas sector in Uganda has continued to make significant progress, as witnessed by the signing of key agreements and launched projects in April 2021. And in the same spirit, our brothers in Tanzania have equally signed their respective key agreements on the East African crude oil pipeline. This was done in May 2021. I must congratulate you on that. This could not have been possible without the steadfast leadership and the commitment of His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni and Her Excellency Samia Suluhu Hassan. And in a special way, His Excellency, the late Dr. John Pombe Magufuli, rest in peace. And on behalf of my ministry and its agencies in Uganda, we are forever grateful and salute you all. The host agreements signed by both states require both governments to enact enabling legislation that would facilitate development of the East African crude oil pipeline. I want to thank the government of the United Republic of Tanzania for passing this important legislation. You are ahead of us, and I think you did this in August 2021. The government of Uganda has also progressed with our legislation. We are right now in Parliament. The committee handling this bill has already submitted a report, and we are going to discuss the report on Tuesday. My target is to make sure that this legislation is out of Parliament by end of this very month. So I have 1 or 2 days to do that. And that will be a milestone, because in this legislation, we had to put provisions from the host agreements that we signed so that we can domesticate and then begin on the plans that we put in place. Physical works in Uganda have commenced in some of the upstream projects. We have the Tilenga project sitting on more than 700 acres, where a central processing facility is going to be constructed, which will produce 190,000 barrels of crude oil per day. I think this is the right time that we think about how we are going to benefit, because Ugandans are waiting for that. The details of the progress made for this, I know, will be shared with you during the course of the symposium by the different able speakers from Uganda who are going to bring you to speed. Currently, the procurement and the contracting process for the drilling-related services and the engineering, procurement, and construction EPC for both Tilenga and Kingfisher are in the final stages, and contracts have been approved for award by the government of Uganda. Kingfisher is expected to produce 40,000 barrels per day, and that will be feeding into the pipeline. We expect at least 200,000 barrels per day to be transported through the pipeline. The oil companies have now embarked on the procurement of goods and services, which presents an opportunity for the private sector members to participate, since national content is a key component in this procurement for both countries. Please help our local companies to be able to favorably compete. National content is good, but quality and competence is also paramount. Government of Uganda has always made it clear that participation of Ugandans in the oil and gas sector through employment and provisions of goods and services is the sure way to spread the benefits of the sector and create long-lasting value. I am glad that this aspiration is shared with the government of the United Republic of Tanzania, and in this regard, the states agree in the Intergovernmental agreements for the ECOP to promote the national content. This was also agreed in the host government agreements that were signed between the two governments and the ECOP company earlier this year. As I conclude, let me highlight the following key principles for national content so that you can reflect on them as you continue with deliberations. 1, priority for Ugandan and Tanzanian goods and services during procurement. 2, reserved contracts for certain goods and services to be provided by Ugandans and Tanzania companies, registered entities, and citizens. And 3, required quality, health, safety, environmental, technical, and other standards for goods and services to be procured. 4, supplier development for Ugandan and Tanzanian companies, registered entities, and citizens. And 5, plan for employment and training of Ugandan and Tanzanian citizens. Training is very key. And 6, implementation of the plan for recruitment and training for Ugandan and Tanzanian citizens. And lastly, support to Ugandan and Tanzanian training institutions. There are institutions which are ready, but they may also need support in order to offer the services that we expect out of them. The intergovernmental agreement and the host government agreements recognize the cross-border and integrated nature of the East African crude oil pipeline, and as such, these agreements require the project company to develop national content plans for the construction and operation phase in accordance with the cross-border nature of the project, where all relevant cross-border issues are to be identified. The national content plans are to be approved by the governments. So the host government agreements also provide that national content interventions such as employment, training, provision of goods and technology transfer in Tanzania shall be considered as part of the project company's contribution to national content in the Uganda, and the same done in Uganda shall be considered as national content in Tanzania. Tuko pamoja? We are together. Yes. The host government agreement, therefore, provides an incentive for the ECOP project to procure goods and services from joint ventures between Ugandan and Tanzanian companies, as these account towards the national content contribution in both states. Ugandan and Tanzanian companies should therefore be encouraged to enter into joint ventures to leverage the favorable national content regime provided under the East African crude oil project. I therefore wish to encourage both Ugandan and Tanzanians to take advantage of the platform created by this symposium to kickstart and build strong partnerships that can participate in the oil and gas sector to contribute to the socio-economic development of our countries and region at large. I wish to thank you very much, the organizers, the sponsors of this symposium, and those who offered to come and participate in this important symposium. On behalf of my delegation, I wish you fruitful deliberation. Thank you very much for listening to me. Asante sana.
Did I hear those hands, or may I hear them again? Thank you. Honorable Ruth Nankabirwa, you've made the work, the speaking job for our minister very difficult, I'm quite sure. But he's a fantastic orator, so there's no doubt that tutakuja pamoja katika mazungumzo. Mheshimiwa Waziri January Makamba Balozi wetu, with excuse, naomba naye tumpe nafasi ya kuzungumza kidogo hapa mbele yetu. Kwa vile sasa amejiunga nasi balozi wetu nchini Uganda, naomba nikuinue tafadhali mheshimiwa. Karibu sana, tumpigie makofi.
Thank you very much, honorable ministers, permanent secretaries, ambassadors and high commissioners. I was not prepared to speak this morning, but I think most of the ground have been covered by the previous speakers. So mine is just to say you're most welcome to this symposium. We've been working together with the private sectors of Uganda and Tanzania, and my colleague, Ambassador Richard Cabonero, and we are here now to see how we are going to implement the project from the angle of the private sector. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency Mlima. Our guests into the country, you probably are aware that before we begin most of our governmental meetings, and in fact any other meeting in Tanzania, we all start with the salutation, na wasalimia kwa jina la Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. And that's it, kazi endelee. And so we salute you in the name of the Republic, United Republic of Tanzania, and the English for it would be? I'll pick it from you so the job can continue. All right, very well. And so as I honorably welcome counterparts to Uganda, beginning with the Deputy Minister, may I do that in the name of the United Republic of Tanzania. And with our hands, let's put our hands together to our Deputy Minister, Honorable Stephen Biabato. Karibu sana. Na Mheshimiwa, naomba nikupe heshima ya kumkaribisha Mheshimiwa Waziri kuhutubia baada ya hapo. Karibu sana.
I am sure you'll take my request, as all of the speakers have spoken English and the coming will be presenting and speaking in English. And here we are in Tanzania and our counterparts in Uganda. Maybe sometimes you should hear from some Swahili tone from the high table. And I should say that I am a lawyer by profession, so English is not bad with me, but let me use it in Swahili. Mheshimiwa Waziri, mgeni rasmi, Mheshimiwa Januari Makamba, Mheshimiwa Waziri wa Nishati kwa Tanzania, Mheshimiwa Waziri Ruth, Waziri wa Nishati na Maendeleo ya Petroli kwa Uganda, waheshimiwa mabalozi, waheshimiwa viongozi wengine wote mlioalikwa hapa kwa upande wa Tanzania na Uganda. Itifaki ikiwa imezingatiwa, niwasalimie kwa jina la Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. Sauti haitoshi bado. Na wasalimu kwa jina la Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. Mimi nimepewa kazi moja na ndogo kabisa ya kumkaribisha Mheshimiwa Waziri kwa ajili ya kuzungumza, na nadhani nimepewa nafasi hii kwa makusudi ukiachana na nafasi ya naibu waziri. Mimi ninatoka jimbo la Bukoba mjini ambalo ni karibu sana na wenzetu wa Uganda. Na kule kwetu Waganda ni Watanzania na Watanzania ni Waganda. Pale mpakani mwa Tanzania na Uganda kuna wilaya inaitwa Misenyi, ina sehemu inaitwa Kyaka. Sasa kuna watu wako pale wanaitwa Waganda Kyaka. Yaani ni Waganda lakini wa Kyaka. Naamini Waganda Kyaka ni Watanzania lakini Waganda Kyaka ni Waganda. Kwa hiyo nafahamu kwamba Waganda wananielewa ninapozungumza Kiswahili na sisi Watanzania tunaelewa Kiswahili. Niwakaribishe sana Tanzania, na mradi huu uko mahali pake hapa nyumbani. tunaendelea kushirikiana vema na tutahakikisha kwamba tunafanikisha jambo hili. Sasa kwa sababu nimepewa nafasi ya kumkaribisha Mheshimiwa Waziri, nisije na mimi nikaanza kuhutubia nikajikuta nimeingia kwenye hotuba yake alafu kesho akasema Taji usimpe huyu bwana mdogo nafasi ya kunikaribisha. Niishie hapo, na Mheshimiwa Waziri, kwa nafasi hii, kwa heshima, karibu sana uweze kuzungumza na hadhira hii. Asante sana.
Habari za asubuhi. So there are books of excuses, and in school for kids, if you don't bring your homework, there's one excuse that the dog or the cat ate my homework. That's a common excuse. So today here, if I stumble, I'm incoherent, it's because my sister Ruth snatched my speech. And I could not be more eloquent than she has been. So I will be very brief. And with that commitment, I also say, so help me God. My sister, Dr. Ruth Nankabirwa, Minister for Energy and Minerals Development of the Republic of Uganda, our brother, Minister for Industry, Deputy Minister Stephen Biabato, business leaders and captains of industry from our two countries, TPSF board, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. I want to welcome our sisters and brothers from Uganda and everybody at this very important symposium. I'm very delighted to finally meet my counterpart, Minister for Energy from Uganda. Please welcome to Tanzania, your second home. We are looking forward with greater anticipation to receive this afternoon a really true son of Tanzania and true son of Africa, President Museveni, who will be visiting our country for the next 3 days. So the danger of speaking last is that, first of all, a lot of time has been eaten, and secondly, all the good insights have been said, so you are left trying to grapple with things that has not been said. So I am struggling, but I'll do my best. So we're here because of the really courageous leadership of the Ugandan people, led by President Museveni, to decide to have oil extracted. It's not an easy exercise. It takes time, painstaking negotiations, courageous leadership, preparing your people, building the capacity. So we want to commend the people of Uganda for this important step. It changes the landscape of Uganda's economy. It places Uganda really on the map in the energy discourse around the world. Also, extracting oil is one thing, but transporting it to the market is another business. And here, we also commend the leadership of the late President, John Pombe Magufuli, who worked with the President of Uganda and the people of Uganda to make sure that we agree that this resource should be transported through Tanzanian territory and shipped out of Tanzanian port. This is important as it shows and demonstrates the close and fraternal and brotherly and sisterly relations between our two countries. It was not easy as well to agree to a pipeline. I see in the audience my friend Martin from Total and other partners in the upstream who have worked together with the two countries to have this project realized. It's a tremendous feat to have this kind of project. It may seem easy, now we're talking about opportunities, but it was not easy. It took courageous leadership. We also commend the President of Tanzania, current President, Her Excellency Samia Suluhu Hassan, for continuing the effort, for being persistent, for pushing us to make sure that all that is necessary to complete the project, to realize the opportunities also happen. So we're also here because of her persistent leadership. So this is a very historic moment for the region and for the global energy conversation. Now, if you look at the map, the common map of the world, the prominent lines that we all talk about are borders. You know, they're very clear and bold. And that's what we are used to see and define the world. But in the future, actually from now and in the near future, the lines on the map that will matter will not be those that we're used to see. The lines that will matter will be the ones that connect us, not the ones that separate us. Because lines on the border are separating lines. But there will be new lines, which are highways, railways, and yes, pipelines and shipping lines. Now, these new lines on the map are the ones that will shape the future, will shape the world. So with this project, we are drawing a new line on the global map, which is a pipeline from Tanzania, from Uganda to Tanzania, and a port, and a regular shipping line of this oil to the market. This is an important line in the global map. And believe me, this line will elevate the geopolitical importance of our two countries. Tanzania and Uganda will not be the same after this project. And obviously, we will continue to build more lines. We have gas in Tanzania. We're keen to build a reverse line to Uganda to sell gas, to Zambia, to Kenya, and off Lindi Coast to the world market, the shipping line. So the region will be transformed because we will have a key feature in the new global map. Now, I've been Minister for Energy. Today is 74th day. I'm counting. You know, when you are in crisis, you count days. So today is 74th day. And in those 74 days, I've attended 4 ECOP events. Last one was here, other one was in Tanga, in Dodoma, and elsewhere. And these events have been about conversations about how to benefit, have been about processes, where we came from, where we are, where we're going. These conversations have been about impediments to the realization of these benefits. So now, my belief is that that this really should be one of the last talking events. Now we need action. We need to see in reality, the benefits. Because we cannot continue to talk and talk and talk and talk. People want to see results now. We have gone through where we came from. We've really, in Swahili, wanasema tumekula ng'ombe mzima, bakia mkia. All right? We've done the bulk of the work. We have signed HGA, which was a huge thing. Shareholding agreement, the enabling legislation, at least in Tanzania and in Uganda, according to our sister, they are completing. The Chinese have approved